Hi, and welcome to the premiere episode of Access Point on Shaw TV. On the program, we're going to be showcasing the video creativity of Vancouver Islanders. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm Jan Dupuis.
And I'm Jivan Burke. Home videos, cell phone videos, short films, whatever you've got. It doesn't have to be professional. Just fun, interesting, and local. And our first selection comes from my co-host, Jan. Jan, what are we going to watch today?
Well, today we're going to watch a short video that a friend of mine, Nicola King, and I made last week. This is after we discovered that we're both what we call the return queens, which means that we're very discerning consumers, and if we're not really happy with a product, then we're not going to keep it. And we've had some really good laughs about this in terms of talking about the kinds of things we've returned, which can get pretty funny.
Hello everybody, I'm Jan.
And I'm Nick.
And we are the Return Queens.
Yes, we have dubbed ourselves the Return Queens because we often need to return products. But that's only because we're in the pursuit of excellence here. And we're hoping to save you some trouble in returning some items as well.
Yeah, so we've had lots of experience with shopping for different items. Not that we're big consumers, but that we really like good quality when we do buy something. And we're both the same in that if something's not really great, it goes back. Yeah. So what we're going to do on this show is share with you some of our experiences with buying some products and making that decision to keep or not to keep.
Yes, because you cannot always hit it out of the park, as it were.
Exactly, exactly. You know? So very well seasoned consumers, and here we go.
And you probably have one in your family too.
Yes. Do you have someone in your life that's always returning things? So every time you see them, you might say, oh, so how do you like that new hair dryer you got? Oh, yeah, I returned it. Yeah. You returned it? Why? I thought you loved it. Yeah, well, it didn't feel quite right, so I returned it.
Yeah.
Well, we're those friends.
So send them some love, okay? Don't roll the eyes.
Yeah, no judgment. No shame.
Send them love because they're doing it. They're taking one for the team.
They are, and they're discerning shoppers, as are we.
Yeah.
So today we're going to look at the Dyson.
So what do you have here, Jan? You've got the.
I've got the Dyson handheld. So I shopped for a long time looking at the Dysons because I have a cat. You may have heard him in the background. And I want to get all that cat hair picked up and have a very clean environment.
And these are costly, so it's a
these are costly.
It's a big purchase.
This is about $4.29 now. It includes the stick and different attachments for vacuuming. Anyway, so I was thrilled. I finally got it. And
so how long did you research for?
About a year. Just looking at different models.
I just knew that.
And a year. You did. Asking people at the Bay, asking people at Sears, watching the shopping channel when they had Dyson on. So anyway, I finally picked up this one, and
looks compact.
It's really great for putting together. It's just click, 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 no problem.
Yeah.
However, this is the problem.
Yeah, there is a problem.
Yeah, which is kind of surprising considering this is a Dyson product, and this is like the genius in innovation.
Premier.
Premier. You have to hold the button down for this machine to stay on. So, like so.
Oh,
you can't just turn it on and leave it on. So once you've used it for a while, let's say 5 or 10 minutes, you're basically just having pain in your wrist, at least I am.
That doesn't sound good.
And then you unclaw your hand from the unit, and then you make an appointment to have your hand checked out.
A535.
Because you now have carpal tunnel syndrome.
Oh.
So, unfortunately, Dyson, you know, Dyson,
what's up?
Can you just bump it up one more step and make this?
Who was asleep at that round table? They missed that point.
It didn't go on the whiteboard.
I don't know.
Can you please make this just stay on?
Yeah.
And then I'll be back and I'll be buying a Dyson.
Right on.
Cheers.
The vacuum cleaner, I could sort of get that. It's reasonable. If it's hurting your hand, I get that. But
Right.
tell me, what's the weirdest thing you've ever taken back?
Okay, well, the weirdest thing I've ever taken back is an avocado.
You've taken back an avocado.
I've taken back an avocado to Thrifties.
And how did that go over?
Well, I spent about 5 minutes at the counter with the person trying to tell me that I probably hadn't taken care of the avocado properly. I'd put it in the fridge, which I hadn't. And I just got so tired of hauling home these avocados. Well, not that you are hauling avocados, bringing home these avocados, paying good money for them. You just get set to have this great meal with avocado and you open it up and it's half brown. And I just got tired of it and I thought, I'm going back with my avocados.
So it's more about the principle of it than the actual avocado, because I mean they're not cheap.
No,
they
they're not
can be
cheap.
anywhere from, I don't know what, $2 to $4 I've seen them,
yeah.
right? But it's more that you feel if you've spent your hard-earned money on this, then it should function.
You should be able to count on the fact, for the most part, that you're going to enjoy this product. And so that was the case with the Dyson. It costs a lot of money. It's, you know, the Dyson is the genius of innovation apparently, and I just thought it would be wonderful to have. And then this thing with the button on the handle.
So you
just
took
didn't
it
work.
back?
So I took it back, no problem.
No problem.
Thank you, Sears. Yes, no problem. As a matter of fact, when I brought it back and started talking to the salesman, he guessed what the problem was. Like I just started to talk about what the problem was, and he said, yeah, I know. Yeah, it's the button.
Good for you for sticking up for yourself. I'm glad that you got that resolved, and I think we should all stick to our values. You know, everybody has something that they feel is important, and you got it done. So, our next video comes from Hack Eye Magazine. It's a new publication here in Victoria.
And this should be interesting. It's a video about what's at the bottom of the Victoria Inner Harbor.
There's actually quite a bit of stuff. It doesn't look like very much when you first, it looks like a bunch of mud and rocks and water bottles and beer bottles, but there's actually a ton of different clam species. You can see the different colored siphons poking out of the mud. There's some big prawns or shrimp down there. I'm not sure which species. I have to get a closer look. I saw at least a couple species of crab. There's limpets that are scraping algae off of rocks. So there's a limpet. You can see it just scrapes the bottom of the rocks, scrapes all the algae off the bottom of the rocks. Here's a little decorator crab. So I've got these two nudibranchs here. This one here is a leopard dorid. It kind of looks like leopard skin. And this one here is often called the clown nudibranch. And they use their bright colors as a way to warn predators not to eat them. Their name comes from naked gills, and that's what these little fluffy bits are here. That's their gills. They use those to breathe. But they're pretty cool. They stick out down there. They're very bright, beautiful colors. And we spent a lot of time looking at the stuff on the pilings. There must be 10 to 20, probably more, species of tunicate, which are really, really cool. They're really colorful and super bright, neat little colonial animals. And we saw actually two beautiful leopard dorid nudibranchs baiting, which was pretty cool. There's a couple species of red algae down there and a bunch of snails. There's pretty much every class of invertebrate that you can think of down there. Barnacles feeding, different species of barnacles on the poles. It's like a rainbow of colors down there. It's pretty cool. Well, as it turns out, there's a lot of junk down there too. People have obviously dropped their phones, the old school phone, the new school phone. We found this nice saw down there. Certainly no shortage of bottles, shopping carts, plastic knives and forks. It's an unfortunate reality, but yeah, too much garbage in the ocean, even right in your backyard.
Well, wasn't that just amazing?
That was beautiful. Really, I had no idea that so many creatures were that close to the harbor. Like, I mean, if you saw, she was just right in there where we walk all the time.
Yeah.
But right there, not out in the deep ocean.
No.
Like 20 different species, I think she said.
I know, and they were so beautiful, and the filming was so beautiful. And I mean, it made me think about, you know, I walk by there all the time. I'm not thinking of this amazing world under the water. And I've never thought that I would want to do that I would want to dive and see what's in there. But I think I would now. Honestly, I think that that really impacted me. It's so beautiful. If I could find a way to do that safely, I would, I think I'd really like to have that experience. What about you? Have you ever done any diving?
I haven't done any diving. Apparently we have one of the best locations for cold water diving in the world, and there's certain times of the year that you can go, but you have to be able to have a certain level of swimming, and I don't have that.
Next up, we have a video from Jeff Cousteau.
Jeff is a local filmmaker, and here's his short film about an unusual chef at an unusual restaurant.
My name is Kellen Rousseau, people call me Kai, and I'm the chef at Wheelie's. I managed to weasel my way into Wheelie's from sharing a little workshop, kind of a hobby shop down in James Bay with Jay, and it was a total random. Met him, asked him if he had some shop space, and he happened to, so I got in there, and that's when the idea of the cafe motorbike shop came up. And it was a long process, obviously, for the Joel and Jay to get it all together, but I happened to be around, and they kept asking me if I had any ideas and any input, and I guess they happened to like what I was into, so they asked me to take over the cafe and kind of put it together, and I did, and ever since then everything's been great. I've traveled a good portion of the world, and I've been inspired by all sorts of things in my cooking. Things I've seen and come across, including food and places and people. With my menu, I've taken a real simple approach with it. Something that I'm doing differently at Wheelie's is I'm trying to keep it very local, very fresh, using things that I can come across as close as possible. My favorite thing on the menu is definitely the root beer pork. It's a sandwich that I had spent a long period of time coming up with and experimented with it a bit, and it was like the one sandwich I planned on having on a menu at some point in my life. The sauce is a chimichurri aioli, which chimichurri is traditionally a South American sauce. I've put a bit of a twist on it, use some different herbs and spices in it, but it's very fresh tasting and it's aioli base. The meat is all locally sourced. The pork comes from Port Alberni, and it's all grain-fed organic meat. I really dig rustic food, and that's just what I want to put on people's plates. So I guess all that really matters at the end of the day is making people smile. And then I get to make myself smile by riding my chopper home.
So what I like in that video is it's his story about, you know, how this developed for him. This is kind of a passion for him, and he talked about how he, you know, knew someone in James Bay, and then that led to him opening his own cafe. And that, I mean, it's obviously really important to him that it's local food, it's very good quality, and it's a nice combination of his kind of on the road fun part of him, and then it juxtaposed to in nature with food. I mean, you know, natural food.
Well,
because
okay.
you know, my impression of a biker is, you know, out on the road, grab a hamburger. You know, food really isn't maybe such a big deal, but for him, he's showing that part of him, and then how he's created this reality for himself.
Okay, so that's the part that resonates
Yes.
with me, is
Yeah.
that if you can identify what it is that you're passionate about,
Right.
and you can make a life doing that,
Yeah.
that's pretty spectacular.
It is.
I like that.
Yeah.
What resonates with me is the part where he's managed to take what he's passionate about and make a living doing it.
Right.
I think that's great.
Yeah, and how many people want to do that? A lot of people want to do that, and what you said about luck, I think luck is a part of it too. And he was in the right place at the right time, and he also had the motivation to take that risk and go ahead and create this.
Yeah, you have to believe in yourself. If
Yeah.
you're going to do something, I mean, a lot of us have dreams about what we would like to
Right.
do, and we can talk ourselves out of it or maybe be talked out of it by friends and family who have good intentions, but they're concerned. And
Right.
he just went for it, and that's
He
what
did.
I like about that story.
Yeah.
We're still on a two-wheeled theme here, but this time, no motor.
Michael Sutherland takes us on a bicycle adventure.
I'm just about to head from Sombrio to Jordan River. It's onward to Duncan over the Malahat. Just about to head to Goldstream. It was a pretty steep, hilly ride through Humpback. So here I am at Goldstream. I'll see you on the other side. So here I am, just mere revolutions from my house beside Providence Farm, and I'm just about to wrap up this circle tour, and it's been a pleasure. Yeah, that was a good ride.
I really like that all you need is a bicycle. I mean, he had quite a few things strapped onto the bicycle, but it's all in our backyard, and there's really no excuse. Kind of inspired me a little bit.
So there's no excuse to get out there, you mean, and be exploring if you have a bike and you have a camera.
Right? I mean, you could think, oh, well, I need to save up for a vacation, or I need to buy a trailer, or I need to have... All this guy had was a bicycle with a kayak attached to it, and a few things, and he managed to explore, well, a lot. I really like that this guy just took a bicycle, strapped a few things to it, and managed to travel all over the island. That inspires me a little bit.
Well, I think it probably inspires a lot of people to take what you have and go out, and it doesn't require a lot of equipment, and go out and have fun and video it and send it in to us, of course.
I think it's really great when people go for it, whatever it is that they want to do. I always think, oh, one day I'm going to do the West Coast Trail, or you know, one day I'm going to get in a kayak and I'm going to do the Queen Charlotte Islands. And when you see somebody actually go and do it, you know, how many times have I looked at the website or looked at a map or read a book about it? And I loved the variety that he was showing. I mean, now I can see it. I can see the water and the hiking and sort of the trails, the environment. It makes me realize that's something I'd like to do someday.
Hey there, I'm Michael Williams, your island chef. Welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to show you how to make pickled ginger. Now, I've already got some rice wine vinegar with a touch of water here that I've made hot, okay? The reason being I want to dissolve a little bit of honey into it, okay? Just for a touch of sweetness. So that needs to be hot, obviously, for the honey to incorporate. Now, what we're going to do, pickled ginger can be just dead simple. A little bit of sugar and vinegar and the ginger, but I want to add some extra flavors into it, okay? So, the honey is now dissolved, okay? I'm going to add in just a few coriander seeds, pinch of salt, and for a little bit of heat, I've got some Thai chili here. I'm just going to cut in half, chop a little bit, and toss that in. How about a little bit of cilantro? Not too much. And we'll just let that kind of do its thing. While that cools down, those flavors will infuse. Now it's time for the ginger, right? Our pickling liquid's ready to go. Let's peel this up. Get a couple of these peeled, and we'll be ready for the mandolin. All right, so I've got my trusty mandolin, which is going to do some slicing for me. And if you ever are using the mandolin, please be careful. As an option, you could salt your ginger, mix it around, and just let it sit for about 15 minutes. Many recipes claim this is a necessary step for pickled ginger, pulling the moisture out, okay, just so you know. Then I'm going to load my ginger into my vessel, cover it with my pickling liquid. Next time I need some pickled ginger, I'll pull this out of the fridge. You know, we're going to let it sit for a few hours at least, but you know, overnight ideal, and then it of course keeps for ages in the pickling liquid. So there we have it. We've got some nice pickled ginger. So I just happen to have some ginger already pickled, and guess what? It's sushi time. One thing's for sure. Once you make homemade pickled ginger, you probably won't want to go back to the pink stuff. Now, if you want some details, go to countrygrocer.com. Pickled ginger is there, along with hundreds of other recipes. Thanks for being with us, and see you next time.
Thank you for watching the premiere episode of Access Point.
If you would like to send in a video, please check out this website for all the details.
I'm Jan Dupuis.
And I'm Jivan Burke.
See you next time.
Hey, if you live on Vancouver Island and would love a chance to share your camera creativity on Access Point, visit the Shaw TV Victoria website and click on Shows. Get to the point. Access Point on Shaw TV.